So I saw Dune. Hello, my cute and creepy friends. So, yes, today I am expressing my love and admiration for the Dune franchise. So it all started a couple of weeks back when I had been hearing about Dune 2, Dune 2, Dune 2, and I was like, all right already, I will watch it. And of course, I wanted to watch the first one. We don't want to go out of order. During that movie, I was just like, where have you been all my life? It was just amazing. And that night I was like listening to the soundtrack, I was looking up fan art, and my husband happened to come in my office and was like,
I've known you a long time, and right now you need help.
And then a friend of mine was like,
if you loved the first one,
wait till you see the frickin' second one. And I was already online getting tickets to the IMAX. So we saw it. To say that I loved it is not a big enough word. I laughed. I cried. I was on the edge of my seat. Parts of my heart were healed that Game of Thrones had shattered. If you know, you know. So I knew after watching this and being so just immediately obsessed with it, I knew I had to make something. You saw the title, you know what we're making. We are making a frickin' sandworm. Aww. I want this guy to be pretty big. I want him to be around 60 inches in length and about 20 inches at his thickest. And I'm thinking of having 3 middle sections accompanied by a tail and then that head with all the teeth. The sandworm really isn't shown in detail in the movies besides the mouth, and so I kind of had to pull from the internet as to what their sides look like. And I saw some images that displayed like tree bark almost, and I really liked that. So we're gonna cut out some darker brown chunks and add that to the sides of this sandworm. I'm also going to add an empty spot between each piece in the middle to allow the worm to be flexible. We want him to be able to bend. For the mouth, I am going to cover it with the same dark fabric that I use for the spots so that we're all nice and matchy. I'm going to get a strip of foam, cover it in this brown fabric, and then roll it like a Swiss roll so that it's a nice, sturdy cave. I would love to be able to put my hand in there, kind of like that popcorn bucket that the cast of Dune loved so much.
Think of it!
I'm not gonna stick my hand in there. Like, I'm good. I'll starve.
And at the entrance of the mouth, we are going to have 2 rows of lovely little worm teeth, which I really want to add some glitter to because of the spice. That's what I'm thinking. Just a fun little tube of fluff that I can cuddle and it'll take me back to the sands of Arrakis. Yeah, so let's get to Joanne's. We are back from Joanne's, and I'm pretty sure we have everything we need. We got the main... We have the main colored fabric, a darker fabric. Then we have the foam for the inside of the mouth, and the most expensive thing, which is polyfill. I'm gonna start with laying out this main fabric, and we're gonna get to measuring and cutting. We're gonna measure out 60 inches in length, 20 inches thick at his thickest. And then I think the tail end, I want to be 10 inches. 3 middle sections, and then the tail and the head. Do my tape lines look incredibly crooked as I go along? Yes, but do not worry. I am a crooked queen. And being a crooked queen means you just kind of use the lines you've drawn as a guideline, but then you use an actual heavy ruler, and probably those still aren't perfect, but that's okay. We're not aiming for exact precision. We just want ballpark. We got our pieces, and now we're gonna go sew them together using something you've probably never seen me use before. It's the sewing machine, you guys. It was a New Year's resolution of mine to tackle the sewing machine. My mother generously gave me hers, and it is something that I have wanted to learn for the longest time, being able to sew things so much faster, but it's just been an intimidating thing for me to learn, and there's a lot of things that go into a sewing machine, and so I've just put it off, but I didn't put it off any longer, and here we are. We have all of our cylinders all sewn perfectly. Then I'm going to use my tape measure and just measure the lid of that cylinder, draw that out, and cut out the tops for all of them. And we now have an adorable stack of little fluffy felt pancakes that are very thin. In my original design sketch of this guy, I had a flat end for the tail that looked like this, but now I definitely realize I don't want that and I want it to be round. So I'm just gonna sew at the end of the tail this little cap here. It's like a trapezoid shape. And when you flip it inside out, it's like that perfect little mitten shape. So we're just gonna pop that on the end of the tail instead. Good morning. We have our 3 middle pieces ready to go. They are sewn together. Everything is looking great. I left a little opening for me to stuff them with and also add that little speckling of darker fabric on top if I wanted to. Should I have put that on first before I sewed the cylinders? Yes, but can't go back now, baby. We have the head that we have to still construct. That's going to be the most complicated part. And then we also do have the tail. Because as I was sewing on that new top that I talked about, where it's rounded, a problem was created. If you are a child, close your eyes. Penis. Yeah, so I did not notice as it was happening. So when it was done, I was just like, oh, I mean, worms are phallic, okay? Like they just are. So there's no way around it. But like, this is just too much. So to correct it, I'm either going to redo it, which is annoying time-wise, or I'm going to trim this part down and make this longer so that it's not so like
the P word.
That is what we're doing today. And I apologize to everyone out there. I am not...
I'm not a pervert.
We have the tail trimmed of the unmentionable part, and I brought in the top so it kind of rounded it out, and we are looking good. It's looking like a tail. It's nice and rounded. I think we are ready to move on to the darker fabric. We're gonna be using this darker fabric, just cutting out fun little chunks and spreading those out across the body as much as possible. And I'm going to sew those on because while hot glue is so much faster, I don't want to have any kind of like bumps coming through. Now, if I had it my way, I would use this entire piece of fabric and draw as many little spots as my heart contented and covered this worm head to toe with them. But since I have limited time and mobility with my hand, I just drew as many pieces, fat, skinny, short, whatever, and cut them all out and place them in a manner where they would take up the most space. And in the end, I think I got the design I wanted across. Last night we finished putting all these little scales on each section of the worm. Now we're gonna move on to connecting the freaking worm. I know, I'm so excited. I can't wait to like get rid of all these sections. And somehow I've been managing to keep track of what order they go in. So that's good. We're going to cut strips from this fabric and sew it around and then sew the next part to the strip, if that makes sense. This is going to allow more wiggle room for the worm. You guys, I'm so sorry. I am riddled with anxiety today because we're waiting to hear if we got a house. So, NBD. Next on the to-do list, we're going to get out our polyfill and start stuffing all of these sections because I want to get a good gauge of the circumference of each of these guys so that I am cutting thick enough strips. And of course, as we see, they are way thicker than 20 inches. Once the strips are all ready, we're going to be sewing them to the top of each of these sections and then connecting them like such. But not until we close all of these bad boys up. We have all of the pieces connected to this boy. Look at him. Don't look at me though, because I look like I've passed through a sandworm. My stress level is like here. Anyway, we have our 3 pieces. We are ready to build this head, and we're gonna start by doing that with foam. I'm going to cover this with the velvet dark fabric that I used for the spots so that we're all matchy-matchy, and then his mouth gets to be all soft on the inside. I'm gonna get to measuring out the foam and then this fabric, and we're gonna get to gluing. As usual, we're gonna measure the circumference of the worm as well as my arm length to make sure it's deep enough. Then we're gonna cut that strip of foam and then measure and cut that fabric. We don't need to cover the entire piece of foam with the fabric so we can save a little. And then we're gonna glue those sides and glue the ends of the foam together and sew the ends of the fabric together, like such. Look at that. Next, we're gonna take a strip of foam and cut down almost all the way through to create those teeth. But as we will find out, all those teeth bunched together aren't going to create that bend that we need them to. So we're going to cut out every other tooth to get that perfect circular shape. Once my teeth are measured out and ready, we're going to get our acrylic paint out and tirelessly paint these brown. I know using spray paint would have been better, but I didn't feel like buying a can and I already had brown paint. So we're all good. Look at my brown little claws. To make that thick lip surrounding the mouth of the worm, we're gonna fold the fabric a little bit, glue that closed, and then stuff some polyfill in the hole, kind of like we're making a little pizza crust. And we're gonna hug the opening of the sandworm with that pizza crust. And to finish it off, here are some satisfying seam closing clips.
Tomorrow for sure.
We have the body, it is all done. We have the head, that is done. And we have the teeth, which are freshly dried. And I just have to glue them inside the mouth and then attach this head. And we are freaking Dune. You guys, it has been a week. I've been trying to finish this project amongst other projects, house stuff, which is still up in the air, and then our cat this morning, we woke up and she like injured her tail, so that was also very stressful. So I'm ready to be done, but anyway, I'm very excited, and let's just cut to the reveal. Do you want some? I am so thrilled to just be finished with this project. And it's not because I hated doing it or that it was like a grueling process. It was definitely a grueling process, but I'm so glad I'm done because I am just so proud of myself that I was able to complete this beast of a plushie while everything in my life was on fire. It was just one thing after another. And I look at him and I think I did a pretty darn good job given the stress and the state of my mind during this time. Are there a few little things? Yeah, that I would fix for sure. But I think he is looking so fun, so great. And like, look, you can put your hand in there. You can put your hand in his mouth. It's a perfect little pocket.
I'm not gonna stick my hand in there.
Dune was just this beacon of light for me. I just enjoyed that movie so much. I loved being in the sands of Arrakis and not on planet Earth for just a couple of hours. And my gosh, that movie felt like it was like an hour and it was like 3. I couldn't believe it. There was not a moment that I felt bored or like I wanted more. I could feel it was coming to a close and I was like, no, I want more. This movie was everything to me. I'm definitely planning on showing up to the premiere of the next one, like being there opening night, and I haven't cared about doing that in forever. So this is huge for me. I'm very excited about these movies, and I really want to read the books too, so that needs to be on the list. But you guys, I'm so sorry I was so absent for like the entire month of March. Like I said, I was going through a lot. There was a lot of things that were going on. The biggest being buying a house and looking for homes. And then our offer did get accepted, which is great. Like, yes, celebrate. But it's like still in limbo with like a mortgage being accepted. and like our taxes. So the banks have been really fun to deal with. And then our cat got hurt. She like hurt her tail. We had to take her to the vet. She had like a floppy tail and it like wasn't standing up straight. So I was really worried about her because I lost my best boy a couple years ago around the same exact time of year. And so I'm like, not another one. Don't you dare take her away from us. All the while, I'm trying to make this and then also plan simultaneously for a trip to LA, which is coming up in 2 weeks. It's very exciting. I cannot wait to share with you what I'm doing. I haven't had time to be excited for it because I'm so busy planning and like it's actually just been a stressful thing rather than fun. So that's upsetting. Anyway, lots of things happening, but we did it. We got this worm done. I wanted him to be done 2 weeks ago, but that's okay. I love how he turned out, and thank you all so much for caring, still being here and not leaving me. And I hope you love him. I hope you love how he turned out. Let me know in the comments if you saw Dune and if you loved it and what you are excited about. If you didn't see Dune, is there a movie coming out or something that you're excited to see? Let me know in the comments, because honestly, when your life is on fire, it's nice to have that escape, whether it's a game or a book or just something to look forward to that you can escape into. I love you all so much, my cute and creepy friends. Stay spooky. Stay sane. Give this video a like if you enjoyed, and feel free to hit that subscribe button because you never know what awaits. You never know what awaits on this channel. So join the journey, and I will see you all in my next video. Duke of Arrakis!
Ha ha ha.